It was a quiet day on Earth, or at least as quiet as it could be in the year 2473, where automated drones buzzed across skylines, neon-lit megacities pulsed with energy, and humanity thrived amidst its technological marvels. For centuries, humans had gazed at the stars, yearning for connection, but their dream had turned into something far more complex than they could have imagined. Just a year prior, the Interstellar Alliance, a coalition of advanced alien civilizations, had made first contact. They came not with weapons, but with warnings. Deep within the sprawling skyscrapers of Neo Geneva, Earth's de facto diplomatic hub for intergalactic relations, a meeting was underway that would shape humanity's future. The setting was the Galactic Forum, a shimmering, rotating structure of light and alloy, suspended in Earth's orbit. Representatives from over 100 alien species gathered in holographic form around a central dais, their voices creating a symphony of untranslatable tones. At the center stood Earth's representative, Ambassador Mira Solis. Mira, a sharp-eyed diplomat in her early 40s, adjusted her earpiece translator and scanned the room. Her heart raced, though she was practiced at hiding it. The Alliance had been pressing Earth for months to join their council, citing the dangers of neutrality in a universe teetering on the edge of galactic war. Humanity, however, had its reasons for hesitation. The humans must choose. The voice of Kreiser, a reptilian alien with shimmering emerald scales, boomed through the chamber. His elongated fingers gestured wildly. Neutrality is a risk not just to your species, but to us all. A ripple of agreement echoed among the council members. Others nodded, or whatever passed for nodding among species without necks. Mira held up a hand, her calm voice cutting through the rising noise. With respect, Kreiser, humanity has chosen, for now. We remain neutral. Our history has taught us the cost of entangling ourselves in conflicts we do not fully understand. Across the room, a new holographic figure shimmered into view. This was Emissary Draxel, a being of pure energy whose translucent form pulsed with shifting colors. When Draxel spoke, the air itself seemed to hum. Ambassador Solis, neutrality is an illusion. The war between the Celestian Dominion and the Void-born Syndicate threatens all sentient life. Your refusal to join either side will not shield you from its consequences. Mira clenched her fists behind her back. This was the third meeting this month where such warnings were issued, but she knew they were more than idle threats. The Celestians, with their obsession for order, and the anarchistic Voidborns, with their chaotic pursuit of entropy, had been locked in a bitter conflict for decades. Entire star systems had already been consumed. Still, Earth had managed to stay off their radar. For now. In the control room of the Galactic Forum, a young technician named Leo Vega monitored the discussion from behind a console. He leaned back in his chair, his long hair tied in a hasty bun, and whispered to his colleague Aria. "Think they'll convince her this time?" Aria smirked. "Not a chance. Mira's tougher than titanium. But I don't envy her job. Imagine being stuck between two galactic superpowers." Leo shrugged. "Neutrality's not a bad deal. No battles on our turf, no alien overlords breathing down our necks. Until someone decides neutrality's just another word for weakness," Aria muttered. Their quiet banter was interrupted by a sharp beeping sound. A crimson light flashed on the console. "Incoming transmission," Leo said, his voice suddenly serious. He tapped the screen, and a distorted message appeared, crackling with interference. "Earth, urgent, galactic neutrality, compromise." The signal fragmented before cutting off entirely. "Was that a warning?" Aria asked, her face pale. "More like a threat," Leo said grimly. Back in the council chamber, Mira's diplomatic instincts were in overdrive. She carefully chose her words, reiterating humanity's position without closing the door to future cooperation. But as the discussion dragged on, a faint vibration ran through the room. At first, it was barely noticeable, but it quickly escalated into a jarring tremor. The holographic forms of the council members flickered erratically. A deep, resonant hum filled the air, and the lights dimmed. "What's happening?" Mira asked, her voice cutting through the chaos. Before anyone could respond, a new hologram materialized in the center of the room. Unlike the other representatives, this figure was neither diplomatic nor familiar. It was a stark, shadowy silhouette, its form shifting like smoke. Its voice was a blend of whispers and roars, echoing as if from 1,000 minds. "Humans," it said, "you have been warned." The figure's presence sent a chill through the room. Even the seasoned diplomats from war-hardened civilizations recoiled. Mira, however, held her ground. "Who are you?" she demanded. "I am a harbinger," the shadow replied. "Your neutrality has made you a target. Both sides see your inaction as defiance. Choose a side, or be consumed by the war you seek to avoid." With that, the shadow vanished, leaving the room in stunned silence. Slowly, the holograms of the other council members stabilized. The tension was palpable. Kreiser was the first to speak. "This changes everything." In the aftermath of the meeting, Mira retreated to her quarters aboard the orbital station. She stared out of a wide window, Earth's blue and green surface glowing against the backdrop of space. Her mind raced. Neutrality was more than a policy. It was humanity's shield. Joining the alliance would mean committing Earth's resources, its people, its future to a war that wasn't theirs. But staying neutral now seemed more dangerous than ever. A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. It was a private message from Leo. "Ambassador, we intercepted a transmission. It looks like the shadowy figure wasn't bluffing. Something's headed our way. Something big." Mira's stomach sank. "Define big." "An unidentified fleet. And it's not just passing by." She took a deep breath. The stakes had just escalated. Neutrality had kept humanity safe. Until now. The time for decisions was running out. The Galactic Forum was in chaos. The Harbinger's ominous warning had shaken even the most seasoned diplomats. Mira Solis stood at the center of the maelstrom, her mind a whirlwind of calculations. Neutrality had always been the safest option for humanity, but the sudden appearance of the shadowy figure and its dire proclamation had changed the equation. Meanwhile, in the control room, Leo Vega and Aria had scrambled to assess the incoming threat. The unidentified fleet was massive, composed of vessels that defied known designs from either the Celestian Dominion or the Void-born Syndicate. The energy signatures were volatile, erratic, and utterly alien. "This doesn't match any known galactic faction," Aria said, her fingers flying across the console. "It's like they came out of nowhere." Leo leaned closer to the monitor, his brow furrowed. "Or they've been hiding, waiting for the right moment to strike." The fleet wasn't moving toward Earth with the casual drift of an exploratory mission. Its trajectory was precise, unyielding, and alarmingly fast. Mira summoned an emergency council session, her voice calm but resolute. "We need answers, and we need them now. If this fleet isn't aligned with the Celestians or Voidborns, who is it?" Draxel's shimmering hologram pulsed with intensity. "The Harbinger claimed you were a target. It is possible this fleet is a rogue faction, seeking to capitalize on Earth's neutrality." Kreiser interjected, his sharp claws tapping impatiently. "Or it could be a diversion. The Void-born Syndicate is infamous for using proxy forces to destabilize potential threats." Mira pressed her palms against the table, her patience thinning. "Speculation isn't going to protect Earth. We need solid intelligence." A quiet voice interrupted from the back of the chamber. It was Nira Kell, an elder representative from the Luminari, a species known for their vast intelligence networks. "I have seen this fleet's patterns before," she said, her luminous eyes narrowing. "It belongs to neither the Celestians nor the Voidborns. These are the Silent Legion, an ancient force thought to have been eradicated millennia ago." The room fell silent. The name carried weight, even among civilizations that had existed for eons. The Silent Legion was a myth to most, a relentless, autonomous army that sought to impose absolute silence across the cosmos, extinguishing all forms of sentient life. Draxel's form dimmed slightly. If they've returned, no planet is safe, let alone Earth. Mira's heart sank. The stakes had grown immeasurably higher. Earth wasn't just caught between two warring factions, it was now in the crosshairs of an ancient enemy. In Neo Geneva, preparations were underway for a planetary defense mobilization. The United Earth Defense Command, UEDC, scrambled its fleets, activating systems that had remained dormant since the Alliance's warnings first began. Earth's orbital stations buzzed with activity as technicians loaded weaponized satellites, and AI-controlled drones were synchronized into a defensive net. Leo and Aria were now stationed in the UEDC's Central Operations Hub. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. "Defensive arrays online," Aria reported, her voice steady despite the growing fear in her chest. "We've got orbital cannons, EMP disruptors, and interceptor drones ready to deploy." Leo nodded, his focus sharp. "But will it be enough? If the Silent Legion really is as dangerous as they say?" Aria gave him a sidelong glance. "We don't have a choice. We fight with what we've got." A sharp alarm echoed through the room. The fleet had entered the outer perimeter of Earth's defensive zone. "Unidentified vessels have breached our early warning systems," an officer announced. "Time to contact. 15 minutes. On the Galactic Forum's orbital platform, Mira was handed a secure line to Earth's High Command. She issued a single directive: hold the line. "I'll buy you time." She turned back to the council members, her eyes blazing. "You want humanity in the Alliance? Prove that your coalition is worth joining. Help us fight." Kreiser hissed in frustration. "Our fleets are already stretched thin battling the void-born incursions." Draxel flickered as if considering the implications. "If Earth falls, the Silent Legion will gain a foothold in a critical sector. Assisting them may be in the Alliance's best interest." Reluctantly, the council members began to deliberate. Mira's gamble had planted the seed of action, but she knew it wouldn't be enough. She had to act now. On Earth, the first wave of the Silent Legion's attack arrived. The ships were sleek and obsidian black, their surfaces devoid of any discernible markings. They moved like shadows, slipping past Earth's defenses with an unnatural grace. Orbital cannons roared to life, sending streams of plasma toward the invaders. Interceptor drones swarmed, firing volleys of missiles. Explosions lit the dark expanse of space as some of the Legion's ships were destroyed, but for every vessel that fell, two more seemed to take its place. "Shields at 60%. Aria shouted. "We're taking heavy fire." Leo stared at the screen, his mind racing. "These things are adapting. They're learning our tactics faster than we can deploy them." As the battle raged, Mira received a priority message from Nira Kell. "Ambassador Solis, the Silent Legion operates through a decentralized hive network. Their strength lies in their coordination. If you can disrupt their command signal, you might be able to break their formation." "How?" Mira asked, desperation creeping into her voice. Nira's hologram flickered. "The network's core is usually housed in a central command vessel. If you can locate and destroy it, the rest of the fleet may falter." Back in the operations hub, Leo and Aria worked furiously to identify the command vessel. Using spectral analysis and advanced AI algorithms, they pinpointed a massive ship at the center of the fleet. It was unlike anything they had seen before, a colossal spiked structure radiating with energy. "We've got it," Leo said. "That's their command ship." Mira relayed the information to the UEDC. A desperate plan was formed. A small team would infiltrate the command ship, plant an EMP device, and disable the Legion's network. Leo and Aria volunteered for the mission. As technicians, They were the most familiar with the EMP device's mechanics, and they knew the stakes better than anyone. "You sure about this?" Mira asked them before they boarded the stealth shuttle. Leo grinned, though it didn't reach his eyes. "We don't really have a choice, do we?" "Just don't die," Aria added with a smirk. "I'd hate to lose a perfectly good co-worker." Mira watched as the shuttle launched, carrying Earth's hope for survival. The battle was far from over, and the odds were stacked against them. But for the first time in weeks, Mira felt a flicker of hope. Humanity had always thrived on impossible challenges. This one would be no different.